Things are not going well in America. We're not on track. 71% of Americans think America's on the wrong track, but almost no one can say why we're on the wrong track, or how we got off, or where the right track is and how we get back on it. There's 3 words we need to define: restoration, revival, and resurrection. A restoration is to put back, to restore, to return. A revival is to make alive again, make flourishing again. And a resurrection is when something is dead and then becomes alive again. You decide where we are as a country on that scale. Do we need merely a restoration, a placing back on track? Do we need a revival, which is a recovery from neglect? Right? Or are we a dead country that needs a complete resurrection? I don't think we're there yet. We're not at resurrection yet. We still exist, even if we may be just a shadow of our former selves. I think we need a restoration and a revival, and that's what today's special is all about. Then we can hopefully avoid needing a resurrection. Let's talk fiscal issues first, because fiscal and social issues are actually the same. They go absolutely hand in hand. We've talked before about inflation. Inflation isn't just bad because eggs are a bit more expensive. They can collapse a nation. We did a whole special on the Roman Empire to prove that point before. Check out this chart. This is federal debt compared to GDP. It's worse than ever. Right now, our debt compared to GDP is worse than World War II. This is very bad. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for this. It's just unsustainable financial recklessness. We have our leaders who are day traders. They have no skin in the game. They pass budgets decades out with no connection to reality, hoping that they can get the benefits now and the consequences will come when they're long out of office or dead. I think of Barney Frank. Does that name ring a bell? Congressman from Massachusetts. He was the head Democrat on the House Financial Services Committee. He retired when he was 73. And now he's 83. And among other things, he became a board member of Signature Bank, one of the clown show banks that went under recently. Now, when he was in office, he supported massive spending bills, the famous Dodd-Frank financial reform bill. He screwed up this country in profound ways, and then retired, and then went to serve on the board of a bank, where he was paid $2 million. The bank goes under, disappears, and of course, he claims no responsibility for anything. That's the system we have today. Politicians, when they're in office, they say, hey, businesses, I'll take care of you when I'm here, and then when I get out, you take care of me. And the businesses say, that's great. You take care of us while you're in office, and we'll take care of you when you get out. And it works for both of them. It's bad for you. So this financial situation is absolutely unsustainable, obviously. Now let's do social. This is the latest example of our social demise. Quick backstory. The gay marriage was legal by the Supreme Court in 2015. But the gay lobby, they didn't just stop. They're not like, well, let's just go get real jobs. They decided to take up the cause of the T's, the transgenders. And it was in 2016, just a year later, of the bathroom bill. Do you remember this? Charlotte passed an ordinance that says you can't discriminate based off of transgender status. It made transgender a protected class. So now trans people could use any bathroom they wanted. So the state of North Carolina said, that's great, no, you can't do that. And then all heck broke loose. Remember, PayPal's we're out of North Carolina. The NC2A said, we're not going to host any more tournaments in North Carolina. All these companies signed on to this bill, this legal declaration saying that we're against this and we're out of North Carolina. What in the world? That was the first time when all these companies jumped behind this social activist movement of craziness. Transgender bathrooms? What in the world? But remember, it came 1 year after gay marriage was made legal by the Supreme Court. And now here we are just a few years later, and Bud Light is sponsoring a 26-year-old man acting like a 12-year-old girl.
This month I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
What? Okay, so then that led to Drag Queen Story Hour. But come on, you can't say anything about that. But you know that the slope is very slippery. So the drag queens are reading to kids. And people are like, oh, no big deal, they're just like clowns. Okay, well then the drag queens started performing in front of the kids. Now you have drag kids. You have kids dressed up in drag, performing for adults. It's weird. And now we have this. This is a drag queen in North Carolina giving a lap dance to a 10th grader. Okay. That's enough of that. So you can look at the adults in the background just standing there watching. There's a TV show in the Netherlands where naked trans people, naked, after their surgeries, stand naked in front of children and describe what happened to their bodies, having their genitals cut off, breasts removed, all the rest. And one of these trans people say, it's euphoric. Do you know what that means? And the children are like, no, I don't know what that means. And then the person said, it feels like you're flying. And one of the 12-year-old girls said, I want that too. Naked. They're standing there naked in front of children. Naked. The next step is kids performing in front of kids sexually. That will happen soon. Just wait for it. And then the same day I found all that stuff, turns out the Build-A-Bear Workshop has a new RuPaul drag bear. And you can find it on their website right next to their Easter merchandise. You with me? There's no question that this country needs an economic, political, social, and spiritual restoration. But in order to do that, we need to know where we came from. We need to know who we once were, right? We can all admit that we're in a bad place, like 71% of Americans, but very few people know that we need to go on that track. That's the track we need again. We need to get on that track, a restoration, then we need a revival once we get there, a revival of our spirits, because all this madness, all this chaos has made us very unhappy and depressed. Just 14% of US adults say they're happy. We need a spiritual revival. And we have to do this before our country no longer exists. And then one day people will read about America in the history books, and maybe they'll try to resurrect our founding values and try again. And that'd be nice, I guess, but it'd be even better to not die in the first place. Revival, restoration, resurrection. Hey, thanks for watching that clip. That's one of my favorite specials we've ever done, is the Great Revival and how we desperately need one in America. So we went back to the Great Awakening. Jonathan Edwards in the 1740s talked about what was going on in America. It wasn't a country yet. What was going on in the colonies at that time that needed an awakening? And what are the parallels to today? We started there, and then we talked about the track. Everyone knows we're off track, but no one knows what the track is. We need to know what the track is that we fell off of, why we fell off it, how to get back on it, where it's going. And that's what we talked about in this special. And the clarity that I received from it, I'll carry with me. So please, if you can watch the whole thing, you can go download the First TV app for free and find it there. It's called The Great Revival, or thefirsttv.com.